Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Tuesday, the 28th of March. Continuing to follow Robert Murray McShane's reading scheme, one of the chapters we read today is Exodus chapter 39, which continues the description of the people of Israel making what was necessary for worship in the tabernacle. And in the chapter, they're looking at making the priestly garments. And we're told time and again, and as I read it, I noticed they say they made the sacred garments for Aaron as the Lord commanded Moses. And then they made an ephod as the Lord commanded Moses. And they did everything as the Lord commanded. And some of it was quite detailed. And we have the description, the bells and pomegranates alternated around the hem of the robe to be worn when ministering, as the Lord commanded Moses. And so they were doing things as they were commanded. And the chapter ends, the Israelites had done all the work just as the Lord had commanded Moses. Moses inspected the work and saw that they had done it just as the Lord had commanded. So Moses blessed them. And as I read that, I thought surely that is something to take note of. And as a church, we need to be looking and guarding and thinking. We need to do things as closely to what God commands as possible. And there are some people today who think, well, we can do things slightly differently. But we don't see that. The people didn't see God commanded we should make this item out of silver, but we think it'd be nicer to make it out of gold because that's more impressive. There's none of that. They did exactly what God commanded, so we need to do the same. And it's not only as a church that we need to do that. We need to do it in our personal lives. Where God commands, we must walk in his commandment. And sometimes there are specifics, like making of the robe with the bells and pomegranates. And if there are specifics, let's stick to the specifics. Sometimes there's just more general descriptions. You need a turban. Let's get as close to it as we can. And we know that in the New Testament, there's not much said about how we worship, but there's quite a bit said about how we live and about our attitudes and about our love and the fact that we need to love God, put him first, obey him. We need to love our neighbor as ourselves. And we need to be walking as closely as we can so that as we look at our lives, we're able to say, we did that as the Lord commanded. And when we do that, as Moses blessed the people of Israel for doing things as the Lord commanded, we know that we too will be blessed when we live as the Lord commanded. So be challenged, encouraged, and blessed.